So the other day we got into a little, what would you call it?
Like a miscommunication. Because it wasn't really an argument. Like there wasn't enough excitement for it to be a fight or an argument, but it was definitely a miscommunication.
So I was upstairs putting the baby to bed, and while I do that, David usually likes to start cleaning up dishes, dinner, everything like that. So I come down, he's doing that, and I started to try to talk to him, try to engage with him, and he just seemed a little like distant and put off. So it frustrated me, and turns out he was listening to a podcast on his headphones, and I can't remember if I knew that or not. I don't know, but this has happened more than once with us, and what it ends up just kind of like throwing us off for the rest of the night, kind of frustrating the rest of the night. But when we break it down, what I realized is that what David's doing is just kind of unwinding. That's how he likes to unwind. But also, I wasn't there, and so it was easy to just listen to a podcast while you're doing the dishes on your own. And then, so I come in, and he kind of still wants to listen and unwind. Whereas for me, I like to unwind at the end of the day together. So I was coming in looking for that. Like, hey, let's talk about our day. Let's think about what we're doing. Let's just connect without a child around. And so what I realized is that what was really frustrating me is that I was projecting my expectations of how I would behave in a situation onto him. So if I had done what David was doing, I would have interpreted it as withdraw. Like if that's what I was doing, I would be wanting to withdraw from him. But what he was doing was just unwinding, because that's who he is, that's how he does things. So I realized that I can't place expectations on him for how I would behave, because we behave very differently in situations.
Right, and one of the other things that we realized is just because we like to unwind in different ways, like doesn't mean that you can just say to the other person, like, this is just the way I am, so deal with it. Like if you're saying that, there's probably some other underlying issues that would probably be a good idea to address. And so one of the things we realized is we may have different preferences for unwinding, but it's important for us to communicate that with each other, especially when we're needing that, because there's always an opportunity to meet each other's needs, but also to make sure that you're putting the relationship and the marriage first. And so sometimes we're gonna unwind together, and other times, like maybe I unwind separately by listening to a podcast and washing the dishes.
Right.
So just make sure that you're communicating clearly so that your partner like knows what's going on, and then it takes the guesswork out of the interpretation for them.
And also remember that when you are making those interpretations, do it based on actual information from your partner and not your own expectation of how you respond in any given situation.
So what are you interpreting right now?